Something like this doesn't get built overnight. Double track line, it goes up to $450 million. Consume less fuel, you consume less electricity.
Hello and welcome to ETH Insights, where the leaders of today explore the ideas that will shape tomorrow. Transportation may look like an infrastructure problem, but at its core, it's a complex optimization challenge. Enter AI and advanced planning algorithms that are radically changing the way we move goods and people. In this conversation, we are joined by Ashutosh Itkelwar, Managing Director of Optym India, the global tech firm powering smarter solutions to some of the world's largest airlines, railroads, and trucking companies. Hello, Ashutosh. Welcome to ETH Insights.
Hi, Anika. Thank you for having me today.
Ashutosh, we'll first start with the broader industry view. So, transportation, it's usually viewed as an infra-heavy sector,
Yeah.
but optimization lies at its core. Where do you see the most immediate effects of AI, advanced planning algorithms, in building efficiency in across rail, air, and road networks,
Trucking. Yeah.
especially in a region like India?
Yeah, so if you look at transportation, it has always been at the core from optimization perspective. So first of all, when we look at infrastructure, heavy industry like whether it's a rail, road, or air, the capex investment is just so high. So if you look at some of the statistics, to lay out about 1 kilometer of track, it costs you somewhere about $1.5 million. Consider 200-kilometer track, you're talking about somewhere 350, 300 million dollar. Consider double track line, it goes up to $450 million. So, and the cost is so high, and that's a one-time cost. Then you got to maintain it, and that costs almost 20% year on year. So, in this case, if you're able to get the efficiency by doing things optimally, even if it's scale of 10%, it's a sizable return back that you get. So what we're seeing generally when we work with some of the railroads and even airline as well as trucking companies, the ROI is just so quick with optimization products. And some of the industries like rail industry, this evolved over last kind of 1 century. And still some of the old practices are being followed. And that's where we think optimization and AI can come in. And that has tremendous potential. And we've been working with some of the global railroads, and we do see those sort of potentials. The ROI, depending on type of problem statement that you pick, etc., could be anywhere between 1 to 3 years. So I think there's a tremendous potential. First of all, it's good because it optimizes what you're using, so it's more green. You consume less fuel, you consume less electricity, you use less acid. So it kind of helps you towards also more of a green cause. If you use the systems and optimality that AI and optimization techniques can offer in today's world.
Talking about India still, India as a country, it's doubling down on logistics with,
Yeah.
say, Gati Shakti or National Rail Plan.
Mhm.
How critical do you think in such a scenario intelligent scheduling and routing becomes to build efficiency and capability?
Huge potential again, right? If you look at India, we've been blessed for that matter. We have kind of opportunity to connect a rail network with the road network and the waterways. As you would have seen, our transport minister Nitin Gadkari has talked about opening of the waterways quite a lot in last couple of years. So if you open the waterways, you connect them with the road network and then connect with the rail network, you build this entire intermodal strategy. It's a huge payback to the government. I guess challenge that we see in the Indian context is the bureaucratic system, and I will be honest about it. So, for example, we worked with Indian, government companies at times, and we found that lot of times, due to the traditional tendering process, etc., we are at disadvantage. Okay, and then a lot of time our innovation, our abilities are kind of undermined, and they go unutilized. Just from Indian context perspective. But I do see tremendous potential, specifically in India. I think with our population, with our demographic, and with the opportunity and the consumption story that we see for the decade ahead for India, there's a huge potential here.
But do you see that the domestic players in transportation industry, they are open to this change?
I think it's a mixed feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
Some of them are. Some of them still want to leverage the labor arbitrage that we still have advantage in India in some pockets. But, as we kind of see, the things have evolved in last 20, 30 years. And eventually it could be slightly later or earlier, but soon you will kind of adapt to this technology. So in India, I would say from technology perspective, the good thing is all the big and good names are in India, right? We got the engineering talent, we got the potential. I guess it's more the infrastructure, that entire space lies more with government than the private players. So that's where the handshake needs to happen.
Coming to Optym. So Optym works with some of the world's largest transportation players.
Yes.
How do you fire your engines across such diverse, operational contexts, rail, road, airways?
Yeah. So if you look at, to give some examples, right? We work with BHP, which is one of the biggest mining company in the world, and they run their largest iron ore mine in Perth, Australia, and we work with them. We do all of their training, train planning and scheduling. And they're heavily dependent on a system to get the iron ore from pit to port, right, which is needed from supply chain perspective. We've been working with them for decades. We recently did study with Canadian National, again one of the class 1 railroads in North America, and we showed them they can get about 10 to 20% improvement in the network velocity. So that translates into significant fuel saving with the kind of infrastructure heavy companies that we're talking about. The 5% saving results into kind of several $100 million a year. So that's a sizable saving potential that we're seeing. Now, we also work with trucking companies like Saya, Yellow, and they all love our products because it gives them benefit in terms of optimization, ability to use less assets. So that means more productivity, and they are more efficient, and they get they have better service predictability, right? But how do we achieve all of that? That's your question, I guess. So question here is, something like this doesn't get built overnight, right? It's kind of requires a lot of research work and then a lot of industry experience to transform all of this into working algorithms. Okay, so if you look at Optym, we got three type of solutions that we look at. When we talk about algorithms, for that matter, technically speaking, you got heuristic way of handling algorithm, which is more of a decision tree. Second is we call it MIP based, which is mixed integer programming, and third aspect is very large neighborhood search. So we have combination of all these three techniques, which evolved into some sort of set of algorithms that we built. Right? And then each of these algorithms have been tweaked to solve for specific domain problems. So if you look at rail, we have rail network problem, we have rail assets optimization problem, similar thing in trucking and similar thing in the airline as well. So we built those solutions and they've been kind of tweaked and customized to those domains. And now they have evolved over the last few years while we're working with our customers. Okay, but the key ingredient or sauce here is the basic model that was evolved, that has been built with a lot of industry experience and having ability to build the solution that's feasible in real life. So I guess that just has evolved, and that's a learning that Optym has gone through over the last 2 decades.
Talking about Optym India, so as the India arm of a global tech company, what role does Optym India play in product innovation, and how are you also leveraging the talent pool in the country, especially the engineering talent
Yeah.
pool, in scaling?
So when I talk about Optym India, I don't consider ourselves as ARM. We consider ourselves as one global Optym company, right? So I'm very careful, and we are very careful. We are not GCC. We are just Optym. Okay. And from our perspective, when I get a problem statement, we work as one team. We pick the right talent based on where it's available. We form a team and they work together. And we take advantage of course, time zones, etc. Right? So that way we can continue some of the work 24/7 because we are still small and we want to remain that way so that we are nimble, we are fast, we are agile. So that has helped us. If you look at the talent pool in India, I guess again advantage we have is engineering talent pool. Most of our hiring is through campuses. We have partnered with some of the IITs and ITs, and we've been year on year hiring people from these institutes, and it has helped us to build pretty good pipeline. So I guess the talent pool is still India is no one can beat India is what I would say in terms of talent pool. There is a hunger, there is capability, there are skills, and there is also, I would say, overall energy that you see when you get these young guys and when you put them on a team and you want them, hey, let's go and solve this problem, and the kind of energy that you see, it's amazing. So we do definitely get benefit out of that, specifically in India. But when I look at Optym as a global team, we work as one team. We kind of make sure that the team is formed with the right combination of skill sets,
Yeah.
and then they deliver the outcome that's needed from customer perspective.
Talking about the future now. So, as AI matures,
Yeah.
what is your vision for Optym and the larger transportation industry as such? And what do you think will differentiate, organizations or companies that simply automate from those who fundamentally rewire on how they make decisions?
Yeah, so if you look at, I generally consider IT companies, or I categorize them in two buckets. Bucket one, they do workflow automation. They take a process like traditional accounting process or inventory management process. They take that process, they divide it into steps, and they put it in the system. So otherwise, you would have maintained a book of record. Now you maintain same book of record systemically, right? That's one. And second is where you build more intelligent solutions, right? So this intelligent solution is not just maintaining book of record, but driving insights, driving decision making based on the data that's available to you. So that's it. So if you look at the kind of former part, right, traditional IT companies, a lot of these are going to become commodity, and they have started becoming commodity already with AI. So I think they will exist in some capacity, but they will become more and more commodity. Right? The second type, AI, that's where I think the industry is overall headed in next decade. And we've seen this, right? We had the dot-com boom that lasted for about a decade. We have mobile or mobility-based solutions, app-based solutions that lasted for last decade. Next decade is going to be for AI. Okay? And the way Optim plays is because they are so niche, right? A solution is combination of optimization AI. We solve some of the problems which is not easy for humans to solve. Right? You can possibly take a human, you can train him, and 1 out of 100 human can solve some of this problem, but it's not something that you can replicate with humans easily. Okay, so you build the solutions which essentially help humans do their task more efficiently and better. It gives them advantage of data, it gives them advantage of compute, it gives them advantage of driving consistency in the decisions that they take. And that's where I guess Optim and companies like Optim will definitely get huge advantage.
Logistics is said to be the backbone of any
It is,
country.
yes.
So I guess going forward, it's not just the infrastructure, but the intelligence too that will decide who moves faster and smarter in the decade ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashutosh, for joining us today.
Thank you, Anika. I appreciate you having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you.